one summer's day does not make a whole season, and one happy day in your life does not make a happy life. So it's how to live that way across years, an integrated way. And a lot of that is in the Nicomachean ethics. And happiness, your own happiness, the happiness of the individual, not just getting food in your mouth to live, but to be happy, that feeling of joy and contentment. That's what is the purpose of life. And Aristotle says, how do we know that's the purpose of life? He says, everything we desire for the sake of something else. Everything. We desire everything for something else. We desire sleep for a reason. We desire food for a reason. We desire company of others for a reason. We desire to learn. We desire to travel and see things, and anything we want. Why do we want it? Because we think it'll make us happy. Happiness is the one thing you don't get and then turn around and go to get something else. You don't save happiness up in a jar. You just take it when it comes and experience it then. And that's the purpose of life, is happiness. And the science of ethics tells you how to attain it. And nobody has a better answer than Ayn Rand. Christopher Hitchens, with his spiel of people from Lucretius to Spinoza to Einstein, is a nice gesture. But the best place to get a quick cogent statement is Objectivism, the Philosophy of Ayn Rand, chapter 4, I believe, or something. Let's see where it is. Chapter 7 is the good, and chapter 8 is virtue, and chapter 9 is happiness. So 7 and 8 and 9, those three together comprise the subject of ethics, and that's a very good summation of it. And then just this line out of this book isn't really worth your time unless you're really interested in reading about Ayn Rand's ideas by this guy. Other than that line in there, this is a pretty clear statement that the individual is alive for itself, and ethics by definition has to be the values that would support that individual's life. Now that's maybe too scientific, too rational for Hitchens to get, but he's a pretty rational guy. Maybe if he heard it, and he says he's read some of Rand, so I don't know what he missed. Maybe he had a little too much scotch that day or something, but it's amazing that we got this new group on the move. That's great. And when I wrote my poem, I said the free world will rally. We've seen all this before, and it's exactly these type of men that I believe are going to have to come out of the woodwork somewhere at some point. And sure enough, in a matter of 18 months, half a dozen books were written, and they are widely known. So, interesting. Go check them out. End of this marathon for now. Now we know what the objective basis of ethics is then, don't we? It's the nature of the individual life. And like I said, it's a science. It's as much of a science as politics or science itself. You can't just take one or two precepts from the jungle and go on it. You have to look at the history of mankind and what's been said, philosophers and so forth. And Hitchens, naming off 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 authors, isn't altogether completely ludicrous. But the fact that they've been synthesized in Ayn Rand, and that's available, to say the objectivist ethics, the ethics of objectivism is what people should operate on. That's a lot better than saying Lucretius, Spinoza, blah, 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 blah. But just as you couldn't attack religion 30 years ago, and Ayn Rand attacked it forthright and said it's disgusting and evil, just as you couldn't attack religion then, so I think you couldn't uphold the ethics that Ayn Rand upheld then. And now those ethics are going into vogue, and attacking religion is going into vogue. It's a bright day and a dark day. It's like, it'll be nice if theism finally gets a good battering in this. It's too bad that Western Europe had to submit to a dark age,